Hello again, this is BGFH back for another Minecraft series of videos here, and this time we are at the edge of my castle village here that we looked at early on in my first couple videos, and somewhere we got my friend floating around here.
Trying to stay around you, and you keep turning
Okay,
around.
fair enough, fair enough. So, Jawbreaker, this is the person that I was talking about on the earlier videos and stuff that we've been doing Minecraft together, so I figured that we would run through some of his creations in here because I did want to put them on the YouTube channel and show them off because he's got some pretty cool stuff going. And I got him on Skype here as well, so hopefully this multiplayer commentary will actually work halfway decent.
Assuming the server doesn't crash again.
Yes, we've been playing Minecraft a little bit earlier today and we've had a little bit of server issues, so we'll just head on forward here. Head on down. So, do you remember when did we start Minecraft? I mean, on the server. I know I found out about the game first, and then I told you about it, and then you started playing it before I did, and then you eventually did get me hooked into it, and I just don't remember like when we started. You know, we should build a server.
About mid-beta.
Mid-beta.
Mid to later.
So yeah, that was like late spring, I think, of a
Yeah,
couple years
mid
ago.
to late period of the beta before we caught on, because multiplayer kind of sucked. And it's so basic because he hadn't finished coding it yet, and that was what he was working on.
Right. And the other thing is that like I remember back then like we would originally like I was working on my castle, you were working on one of your projects and we're like, "Oh yeah, let's email or Dropbox or I think it was like you send it or something, sending these maps back and forth and it just fucking just
Yeah, it
trying
quickly
to
got
find a
out
way
of
to do
hand.
it. Yeah, the files got huge and obnoxious. So this is one of the projects that, we're going to go into a central kind of a hub area. When you start the server for the first time, you'll kind of be placed, the spawn point, as it were. And this is something you would come up with, because every way out of the spawn point, you kind of have a separate tunnel going into different places. So
Yeah, it was just something to do. Just wanted something kind of unique to be spawned on.
yeah,
Some place to
that's
greet
cool.
people.
Okay, so actually we'll head in here. This originally I had done a road kind of going to the spawn area, and I noticed this weird little cave down here, so I thought, well, let's make this weird little hermit area, and it turned into be kind of this magician thing. This is pretty much the rough idea that I started with, and then you would just come in and added mainly like a couple of the like bookshelves, and then this whole magician area back here,
Yeah, I tried to flesh out the idea.
which I thought was pretty cool. Um, we got to go up. Oh, do you still have those heads there in this area still?
Yes.
That's hilarious. So they've added, and later in Minecraft, they've added these heads, which I didn't know about actually until like yesterday when you showed them to me. But I thought this was pretty hilarious. So not only is this guy some hermit magician, but apparently he's this dark sorcerer dude. We've got this floating head over fire spawning, and we got all kinds of like creature heads over here.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, it was just kind of walled in with this leaves and stuff, which I actually thought was a pretty cool idea. But I kind of get a kick out of the whole dark sorcerer dude going there. Alright, we'll keep on going. So we've had a few iterations of the server over the past few years, and we've kind of had to rebuild, and we've had different hubs and spawn points and whatever.
Three iterations.
Yeah, I think it was 3. How did you come up with the idea of start for this ginormous, I call it a stadium.
Yes, you keep calling it that.
You look at it from like the outside, it totally looks like a sports stadium.
Yes, I know. Squat and wide. Well, it was more of an extension of that temple thing off to the side there. Just, well, hey, octagon. Well, let's make a really fucking big octagon.
Right. And the thing I like about it is that we've got I really like the cool blue diamond pattern, the diamond and the glass, and then you got like the alternating. I'm gonna fly up here. We're in creative mode, but we've got like it looks like ice and glass,
Yep, the roof is made of ice and glass.
and then around every corner of this is an octagon shape. So we've got all these pillars. Whoops. There we go. We've got these pillars of like lava. I remember helping you build these. God, I mean, it was cool, but it like a lot of these projects, your projects are so much larger than mine in scope. Like as far as like building structures, it seems that
Yes, it makes them hard to finish that way.
it takes. Yeah, I mean, I remember. I mean, even taking one pillar, it like kind of took forever just to do.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a little much, but
I think of this as my octagon phase because everything's octagons, more octagons, and
yeah, I
octagons
noticed.
again.
Yeah, and but one thing I kind of like is you got these little. I don't know, what do you call these
Outbuildings?
things? The what?
Outbuildings?
Yeah, the little octagon, you've got these things in, yeah, that we're in right now. I don't know what you want to call them,
Oh, we'll just call them outbuildings. That's just here.
but it seems like, like every hub or every door out of this place, you kind of has a different theme. So like these two are the same, then we've got a couple that are fire, we've got a couple that are whatever.
Mm-hmm. It made each path distinctive and oriented you. Originally, I started out with these fountains over here because that's where this building started, was these stupid fountains, and then it expanded into, well, why not make a giant octagon for people to spawn in, and well, I wanted to make a recessed bowl to spawn in. Then it kind of grew out of proportion as I built the
Yeah.
walls.
And then you got this big middle structure here. What's going on here? We got this big like
Oh, the nether
in,
portal?
no, well, yeah, the portal, but then you got like, up here is kind of like this big old like um cone shape kind of or whatever, or like going down
Oh,
into it. I don't.
yeah, that needed something to do with the roof because otherwise you were looking straight up at blocks, and that was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Because you actually spawn on top of this thing.
Right.
You
Yeah,
have the
so when you do,
spawn.
you fall in right here. And I'm not going to go through these portals because you like instantaneously go to the nether in creative mode, which I found out the hard way and actually ended up going through one of these other weird portals. I didn't know where it went and ended up finding some weird boss creature or something the first time I did that a while ago.
Well, you could always fly up through the center and show them the surface of what this thing looks like top down.
I guess that's as good a time as any to do that. If I can, there we go. Whee! Damn. Oh, no, 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 don't chop up. Come on. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Please don't crash. Alright, so now we're on top of this thing.
Which is where you'll spawn if you're a
Which
fresh
is,
player.
yeah, you're a fresh player, you'll just fall right down in that hole that we just flew up, so...
Actually, it's a spawn area, so you'll fall on top of this.
Oh, I
actually
thought
larger.
you spawned and then you fell
No,
right
you
to
don't
the hole.
spawn exactly in the middle. It's more of a region of spawn.
Oh, okay, because I was thinking when we had the old spawn point, you'd fall, like, we're looking at it over
Yes,
there.
that was a bucket mod I was using that would precisely locate your spawn point.
Yeah, where you just, like, fall and you just, boom, you'd fall into that fountain thing. That was pretty awesome. That was a pretty
Yeah.
cool revision back then. But, so
But-
there we
But you
got
fall,
our...
it's a spawn area.
Right. And so there we've got, like, we got the snow area, we got my village over there. Back, oh, if it would render in. There we go. Yeah, that's the thing is this place is getting so dense that it's just, you probably get some weird
Leg
blocks
holes.
that, yeah, little clusters that don't fill in all the time. But yeah, I mean, I like the pattern up here, the green and blue for the top, and then the square part up here.
Yeah, it's always an effort of just trying to figure out what to do with open space.
Alright, so we're going to fly back down this little water hole here. Whee! And now we're back in here, and let's head over to your cabin. I think what we'll do is we'll do the cabin, and then we'll split to the next video.
Wrong staircase.
Oh,
over here.
yeah, yeah, this one, isn't it?
Yes, it's this one over here.
Alright. Yeah, so this one, I kind of like the way that this one is actually fire. Because it's like, oh, okay, you got this kind of campfire,
Bonfire going on.
bonfire cabin thing going on. So, that's one of the things, like with all your projects so far, it kind of seems like, I'm building these realistic, kind of simple structures, and then I go look at your stuff, and, like, mine has its own sort of detail, but it kind of pisses me off, because I'm like, man, all my stuff is, like, simple, and, like, your overall, like, just building architecture is just so much better than mine.
Well, I'm always experimenting with little details and
That,
interactions to
and
kind of.
yeah, and I'm getting better at that. Like, I looked at that courthouse building and stuff. That building alone is just some of my best work, and it's finally getting there. But
Well, it's just part of the evolution of playing Minecraft. Everyone starts simple and tiny, and then you go, after you've finally gotten the hang of building bigger, cooler things, you go back and look at your early stuff like, wow, this is tiny and cramped and weird.
well, yeah, and I mean, just the other thing too of like, I feel like in a way I'm sort of constrained. Like, you're not building for realism. You're building for just let's make this crazy ass thing over here and see what it morphs into. I'm like, okay, I have to have this building. All these rooms have to have a purpose.
Oh no, my stuff actually has to have purpose.
Well, no,
It's
no, I'm not
just,
saying,
it gets
but
big out of hand quickly.
yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like I said, I'm kind of going more from like a realistic um, form factor or whatever, for lack of a better word. Now, you have cabins out here, don't you?
Yes, little fishing huts.
Yeah, a little fishing hut. So I won't go into every one of them, but maybe I'll take.
No, they're all the same, so.
I'll just go into
pick
one of them. Yeah, I'll
Yep.
just go into one. Where's the door? What? Okay, of course it'd be the last side that I choose to
Well, of course, it's on the land
go
side.
in. Well, all right. So yeah, we got little fishing huts there. Pretty sweet. Little ice houses.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
no, my stuff always has some realistic design to it, but I try to go a bit more than just blocks. It's like
Mhm.
a block building is just boring.
Well, yeah, and I'm getting around that too. And like I said, I guess we talked about this, I think, just before. Is like, you're a really good exterior and like overall structure, whereas I kind of go crazy with interiors and stuff and like different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like your little, like how it kind of on the outsides it just barely is out, and then the more you get to the middle, it's kind of like this big
Overhand.
overhang. Almost looks like a big old mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, if you stand back here, it almost looks like this big old maw.
Yes, it's a giant worm trying to eat you.
All right, we'll head back in here, and there's not. Is it worth going down this hallway?
No, not yet. I haven't built anything over there.
All right, so
It was
yeah,
a
there's
project that started but never finished.
right. So that's I think we'll cover that maybe eventually when that gets going, and then I think we'll stop the video here, and we will head out to the. I think I want to get out to this main area. I'll stop it here, and we'll start the next one. So back in a minute.